We're getting ready to jump in 40 days of love. So those of you who are joining me, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're joining from so that I can see you guys. I'm excited that you're here. 40 days of love is starting tomorrow, January the 6th, and it's going to run through February the 14th. However, the way that the 40 days of love is going to work is I'm going to give you a prep day before your days dare. So I don't have my book, but I do have a resource that I can show you guys. I don't have my book, but I do have a resource. And this is what it looks like. I have my book, but I don't have it right here where I can put my hands on it. It's called the Love Dare. So let me know where you're chiming in from, you guys, because I'm excited to see you all and I'm excited to walk you all through this challenge. Because I think I think it's important. I think it's vital. Now, how am I qualified to take anybody through a marriage challenge not being married? Well, I'm thankful that I don't get qualifications from people, but the Lord is allowing me to share. Why? Because my ministry is marriage and money. Those two things I know about. Hey, little lady, good to see you. Those two things I know very well. I know marriage and I know money. I know how to be married right. I know how to be married wrong. And I know how to manage my little coins over here. So I take that particular thought process that God has equipped me to teach what I'm teaching. And I pray that it helps somebody's marriage. Now, I do realize that everybody is not going to jump on this train. There are some people that are in terrible marriages. I am not going to counsel you what to do about your marriage. I'm going to counsel you what does the word say about that. And if you have a local church, go to your pastor, your pastor's wife, whoever does your counseling, and get counsel about that. Some of you are in marriages that you're just tired of your person. The honeymoon has worn off. My marriage will never be worn off. We're going to be on a honeymoon forever. But the honeymoon has worn off. Hey, Miss Rose. And which part of Texas are you in, Miss Rose? The honeymoon has worn off. And now you don't know what to do with this person, right? Some of you are in marriages that you have prioritized your children and not your spouse. And now your children are growing up and they don't need you as much. And you don't know the person that you're married to because all of your time has been spent with your children. Now, I generally tend to get in big trouble when I talk about children and spouses because people are like, well, I'm not going to put a man above my children. Well, trust me, when your children get a man, they're going to put him above you. Ask me how I know. That's all I got to say about that. So if I were you, I would go back and look at my marriage vows because nowhere in there does it say leave your father. Oh, really? I was just there in September. I wish I had known that. I was just there in September. Nice. Very nice. But I don't read anywhere in the marriage vows where it says forsaking all others except your children. Cleave to your spouse, or leave your father and mother and take your children with you with your spouse. Is not in there. And then there are some of us who do want to be married. We have not had the opportunity as of yet for whatever situation or circumstance. And we don't know how to, once we do get with someone, how to keep it fresh, how to keep it spicy, how to, we don't know any of those types of things. Hey, Nicole. So that's why I'm here. Hey, ma'am. Very good. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Last year taught me a lot. This year, I found myself really digging in to study. And so I want to share with you a couple of resources that you're going to need as we move into the challenge. So please, 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 if you're joining the challenge, stick it out for the 40 days. For me coming on here, 40 days, actually 41 days, because I got to come a day early and not be married. Don't let me invest more into your marriage than you. Here's why I do this. There's a lady in Hamilton, Alabama. Her name is Karen Wheaton. If you know Karen Wheaton, you know that Miss Karen has a place called The Ramp. They actually have a church now called The Ramp Church. But before, it wasn't a church. It was just a youth place where youth went for ministry. And it's called The Ramp. And when I went to Hamilton, Alabama in December of 2010 was the first time that I had went to Hamilton. And Miss Karen was telling a story about why she did the ramp. And she said she just needed a place for kids, for youth to come together and fall in love with Jesus. And she said the Lord said to her, Karen, what you sow into the lives of these young people, you will reap in the lives of your children. And that always stuck with me. And as I have continued to move along in ministry, as I've aged as a woman, as I have evolved into this person that most of you see today, God has spoken the same things to me, because my areas of expertise are women for sure, but marriage and money. Women, marriage, and money. And he says, Shakema, what you sow into the lives of these marriages, you'll reap into your own. So I'm pouring in everything I got, because I am praying to reap that back out into my marriage. I'm praying that my husband will know that I loved him so much even before he showed up, that I took time to pour into other marriages, because I wanted those marriages to succeed. I wanted those marriages to be the best marriages ever. And can your marriage be the best marriage ever? It can be. It just may not look like mine, right? Because there is no cookie cutter pattern to marriage. Jesus gives us, the Bible gives us the pattern for marriage, but yours does not have to look like mine, right? My husband and I may not go on date night. We might go on date week. We might not go on vacation, but we go on staycation. So you can't say, well, I'm going to be just like Shakema. You can mimic qualities. You can emulate certain qualities, but emulate Jesus. Please emulate the Lord. Don't try to emulate me. Emulate God. Don't emulate somebody else. It is always good to have a living, breathing, walking example that we can see, but emulate Jesus in everything you do. Okay. Those of you who joined me last year, yay for you. Glad you're back. And so then some people would say, well, Shakema, you did it last year. Why are you doing it again? Because some people are still in the same place they were last year. Some people may just be newly married. Some people may be like, I'm at the end of my rope. I did it last year and he was good for a few months, but then he tried to act up. So girl, I'm about to be gone. Right? So it's a new year. New folks joining all the time. Please take a moment to like the video, to share it, because you never know whose marriage is on the rocks, on the ropes, or whatever the case might be. So my encouragement to all of us is to not just sow into you, sow into somebody else, right? Say, Shakema, I don't know anybody. Your sister married, your cousin married, your friend married, your neighbor married, somebody is married. You all can get together and discuss. All right. So a couple of resources. Now, I showed you, this is not my book. I printed this out. I have my book. It's over there. But I printed this out just to show some of you lovely ladies that if you can't afford the book, because most people say, well, I can't afford the book. Okay. I'm so glad you said that, because Shakema is going to show you where you can get it for free. Yes, I will. Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to do, okay. I'll show you this. Now, I typed in the Love Dare PDF. That's what I typed in, the Love Dare PDF. And this is what popped up. There are 179 pages. This is the entire book on PDF for you to read. I don't know who copied it and put it up here. I don't know all of those things, but it is on here. And you can even see where they have been putting in some of their notes. So somebody copied it, but it is here. So if for some reason you don't have it or the funds to get it, you can look here to be able to access the book for free. The next thing I want to show you is this. Now, every day has a dare. Every single day has a dare that goes with it. So if for some reason you don't have your book or you don't have all of your information at the time, but you still want to do your dare, These are the dares. It's what I call the mini dares. It's the dares broken down by day of what that day is. It doesn't give you the explanation, but it gives you today's dare, right? So you can just see this in PDF. You can also download it to print if you want to. Should not cost you anything, but you can click download now, and then you will have this that you can just keep around if you so choose. Why, friend? Why? Just go away. Okay. You can, it gives you 40 of the days. Of course, this is an ad. You would just have to download. But anyway. And if I find it, I think it is on my website as well. And then the last thing that I want to share with you as a resource that is so very important is this. And everybody needs to start here first. So this is called the Love Dare test. I just typed in the Love Dare evaluation. There are 2 evaluations here, and this is imperative that you do first because you want to know what is your love score, right? You want to know what your love score is. There are 2 tests here. There's one for couples and there's one for parents. So if you're not in a couple's relationship and you don't want to love dare anybody, you can love dare your children because they do have a book called The Love Dare for Parents. Sometimes we need to nurture our parent-child relationships, and we don't do that as much. For those of us who are not married, that could definitely be a starting point. But for those of you who are married, you have your marriage evaluation. And so I'm going to click here and it tells you about the evaluation. The point of this evaluation is not to get a score number, but to grow and to learn, to make a choice, the choice to love, to keep working, believing, changing, forgiving, continually getting better at loving your spouse well. So once you've answered these simple questions, take advantage of everything listed in your feedback report. So once you take the evaluation, it's going to give you a feedback report. What I did was I printed out mine, and then for every single day, I wrote down, was that affection? Was that what was another one? Adoration. Was that there were I can't think right now. I have to grab my book. But every day, because it breaks the days down, every day it's a different A thing. A name. I didn't put it on here, but I put it in my book. Is it acceptance? Is it affection? Is it, and I think it were 5 or 6 different things. Every day is one of those 5 things. So once you go to take the test, it now gives you these multiple choice. There's 7 pages. Let me see. There's 5. So it's 35 questions. This can be done in a matter of 10 minutes. But you just want to read the questions carefully. Do you strongly agree, strongly disagree? You're not sure. And then you just take this evaluation, and then it's going to spit you out your results. And it's going to say, you seem to be strong in these areas, but you have some areas to grow, or these areas are your weaker areas. Please consider focusing on, and then it'll give you scripture to focus on in your weaker areas. So everybody wants to know what you're strong in, right? It does give you your strengths. It says you're strong in this, but then we want to focus on the areas where we are weak. I may not show enough affection. My husband's love language may be a physical touch, but I don't like touching people, but he needs that. And so I need to I need to work on, first of all, why don't I want to touch him? Honey, he is like Fabio or something. That man is fine. Sure, you should want to put your hands all over him. Right? But if I don't, then why don't you, Shakema? And now I need to unpack that. Why am I so hesitant to be physical with my man? Why am I not being attentive? Attentive, I think, is another one of the days. He's telling me stuff, but I'm not leaning in to hear him. Why am I not leaning in? Who has talked to me crazy, or has he talked to me crazy so many times that I'm just not going to listen to you? I'm not listening to you. So you got to unpack why, but then it's going to say, okay, I need you to build yourself, and here are some verses that you can do that. I don't have my results out here right now. I'll try to find them, or I'll take the test again. But every day I knew, was that affection? Was it acceptance? Was it attention? I knew all of those types of things because I want to be better, right? That's the thing. The question is, do you want to be a better spouse or not? You got to answer that for yourself. I just did a teaching the other day called Unpack Your Bags Part 2. And I said the first thing you have to do is define your why. Why are you here? Just to hang out with Shakema? Well, that's cute and cool, but you got to live with that man. I don't. So if I were you, I would define why I'm here. I'm here because I want to be more attentive to my husband. I want to be able to read his body language. I want to be able to give affection even when I don't feel like giving affection. I want to stop using my body as a weapon against my husband. No, you can't. Not tonight. I got a headache. You have a headache 20 nights out of 30. And then, you got another 7-day situation. So, I mean, Lord have mercy, the poor little man. That's all I'm saying. So you have to unpack why you do what you do and why you're here for this challenge. It's not for everybody. Only the strong survive over here. But we're making choices. We're making a choice to do this. Now, I'm going into the Love Dare. I'm just going to give you some thoughts because we have our first challenge tomorrow. When you open the book, I like where this is by the Kendrick brothers, just in case you need a little background. Alex and Stephen Kendrick, the Kendrick brothers, they do movies. And one of the movies that they made was called Fireproof. And in this movie, the husband was so distracted. He was online surfing and finding all kinds of things that interest him more than his wife. And he was looking at all the things online every day for hours at a time. Not video games. Okay. That right there, Yolanda said, making a choice to stretch yourself. It is going to stretch you beyond your natural borders to love someone the way that God loves them. Because at times you want to, yes, they on my last nerve. They spent the last money. He did this and he did that and he did this. Ugh. But you got to stretch yourself because I'm in this thing for the long haul. I said in good and bad and sickness and health and wellness and poor and rich. And I mean, all the things you agreed to. Do you still do? Do you still do? Because you did back then. 29 years later, do you still do? Because I'm thinking about it. No, you got to be in all. I'm here for all of it. He says, receive this as a warning. This 40-day journey cannot be taken lightly. If you are not here to give it your all, Shakema, if you are not here to give it everything you got every night of the week for 40 nights, do not start with these ladies. Do not do it because I can't take your marriage lightly. I can't take my marriage lightly. Remember, I'm sowing in. I'm sowing in my time into your marriage because for 45 minutes of my time is $50. And I'm thinking about raising my prices. 65 sounds really good. 75 is great. I'm even thinking about 150. If you bring in groups, for groups like this, it's going to be in the thousands because listen, my time is very valuable, but I can't give it all I got and you just breeze through it. Now, for some of us, I know you can't make it every night. That's why the videos are recorded. You'll be able to go back and watch the recording. But you got to do the work, right? He says it's a challenge and often difficult process, but an incredibly fulfilling one. To take this dare requires a resolute mind. And I looked up resolute is firmly resolved or determined. You have to be set in your purpose to do this every single day for 40 days. You have to have what old folks would say is a made up mind. I have decided that I'm going to love my spouse, period. And a steadfast determination. Steadfast means resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. Your foot will not be moved. I am doing this, hell or high water, whatever. I'm not going to be moved off this challenge. Well, hey, so Shakema, you want to go out with the girls? What can I be home by 8:45? Because I got to go live at 9. No, ma'am, I cannot go out with you. I even, my sister was asking me if I wanted to do something with her. And, I'm always down for my sister, whatever. But I said, I can't promise you. I said, for the next 40 days, I already have a plan. I've got something already going on. I've committed to be here with you for 40 days. Don't make my commitment be in vain because you're not doing your end of the deal. He says a steadfast determination. That's a firmness of purpose. Why are you here? Put it up here at the beginning of your page. Why am I here? And write it down. What do you so desire from the 40 days? And you can write it all down. I don't know what you desire, but I think what I desire in loving my spouse through teaching you how to love your spouse is that he would always know that I am thinking about him, that I care for him, that I am team him, that I'm down for him, that it doesn't matter. I'm riding, you riding, I'm riding. Whatever you going, I'm going. That's what I want my husband to know. I did this. I was unwavering in my decision to love you no matter what, in spite of the things, all the time. When I like you and when I don't, I'm going to love you anyway. Okay. Oh, I like that. Miss Carla said, God told me to go beyond my comfort zone to grow. You have to. If you put a seed in a pot that is small, right? When you start plants, because it's now getting ready to be time to start plants for the spring garden. So you start your seeds in a seed starting tray. But as those seeds begin to germinate and they begin to grow, it's going to outgrow that particular small seed tray. Then you have to upgrade to the solo cup, or maybe you start with the white cup. And after it has grown out of that cup, you move to the solo cup. Well, Shakema, why are we moving from cups to cups? Well, first of all, the elements outside are not to the point now where I can plant anything in the ground. Our last frost date is April 1st. So I've got to nurture my plants in a warm environment, but they keep outgrowing their pots. So I've got to take time to dig it up. I've got to massage the roots, put it into a fresh container, more soil, water it every day. I got to put the heating lamps on it. I mean, all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, can I just buy plant starts from Lowe's? Can I just buy plant starts from Lowe's? Because this is too much. But here's the thing. If I get it from Lowe's, I only know what the name of the plant is. I'm not even sure if it's right because, honey, they packing it real quick. I don't know if I got the right thing or not. But if I plant it and I water it and I pluck out the weeds and I do all the work for it, I'm going to take care of it when it goes out in that garden. And it should produce for me because I've taken the first half of its life and I've given my whole self to it. I'm going to put it in good ground. I'm going to water it. I'm going to fertilize it. I'm going to talk nice to my husband. I'm going to not keep bringing up all the old stuff. I'm not going to talk about his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend. I'm not going to talk about his spending habits that are really bad. I'm going to nurture this thing and it should begin to produce good fruit for me. Whenever you plant a seed and you wait enough time, you should reap a harvest. Seed, time, and harvest is a real thing. It is not meant to be sampled or briefly tested, and those who quit early will forfeit the greatest benefit. If you will commit to a day at a time for 40 days, the results could change your life and your marriage. Consider it a dare from others who have done it before you. Now, what is a dare? A dare is a verb. It means to have courage to do something. It is an action word. Faith without works is dead. Doesn't mean you can work yourself into a frenzy to make somebody love you. But you can pray in faith. God, I thank you that as I am doing this challenge and I am showing love to my spouse, that his hard heart would begin to melt. First of all, his hard heart towards you and his hard heart towards me or towards the marriage or towards the kids or whatever it is hard towards. God, I pray that as I am resolute in my decision to love him in spite of, his heart will begin to soften and he'll be who you called him to be, not who I want him to be. Because, honey, I can want him to be all kinds of stuff. He never lived up to that. But I'm going to call out the God in him so that he would be able to be who God sees him as, not who Shakema sees him as. So some of us have that mindset, well, I'm going to pray and the Lord going to change him. No, the Lord's going to change you. This is about you. They will receive the residual benefits, but this challenge is always about the person doing the challenge because it's going to touch you first before it touches them. And you have to allow it. You have to give God permission to touch your heart, to change your heart, because some of us, our hearts are stone now. Our heart is stone. This man has been treating me wrong for 20 years. He's been treating me wrong for these 3 years we've been married, and he don't want to accept my child, and he don't want to do this, and his mama always got something to say, and every time we go to the family barbecue, you are hard, honey. Ma'am, can I help you? Ma'am, sir, you are hard. And so when you jump into this, because you got to read all the material and then do the dare, it's going to begin to change you. So that heart of stone is going to begin to open up. It's going to begin to relax. Now, this might be day 29. I mean, you started off over here, this day 29, but by day 40, we hope that it has opened up all the way, not only so that your husband is changed, your wife is changed, but that you are changed. Now, if there are men joining, it's the same, right? I speak about the wives to the husbands because I'm a woman. It's the same men to the wives. It is the same. It's a reciprocal situation. But you have to have the courage to do something. You got to do it. Okay? All right. I'm just going to read a little bit of this and then I'm going to jump in because day one is here. It says, the scripture says that God designed and created marriage as a good thing. It is a beautiful, priceless gift. And these are not my words. These are their words. When I jump into the days, see, I've been writing. I've been putting my notes and my stuff in here. I've been writing stuff out for y'all. He uses marriage to help us eliminate loneliness, multiply our effectiveness, establish families, raise children, enjoy life, and bless us with relational intimacy. So those are the things. Listen to me. This is why God has created marriage, to eliminate loneliness, to multiply your effectiveness. We are a team. Two are better than one. Ecclesiastes says two are better than one because y'all can protect each other. You can see what's going on behind me. I can see what's going on behind you. That's the point. He uses us to establish families, be fruitful and multiply. That means you got to do stuff to multiply. So do all of that. To raise your children. Hey, listen, we got these kids. This is what we're going to do for them so that they can be productive citizens in the world, to enjoy life. I am at a stage of my life now where I'm enjoying it very much, and I would love someone to enjoy it with this latter half. The Bible promised me that my latter days shall be greater than my former. The former were not always the best, but as I move into these latter days, I promise you that I am having the time of my life. Yes, I'm having it by myself, but when God brings somebody in here, he's going to be able to understand, hey, you rolling, I'm rolling. Because before I couldn't go anywhere. I had kids. I can't go nowhere. We can't even travel. God sending me a travel husband and I can't travel. Send me a travel husband now, Jesus, because I'm free. Like a bird, I'm free. And to bless you with relational intimacy. Let me say this to you very clearly, all of you ladies who always have headaches. Take some Tylenol, ibuprofen, Aleve, Advil, whatever type of thing you need, or unpack the bag of why your head always hurts when it's time to be relational. A lot of that is from unmet expectations. You've expected him to do something he didn't, and now there's a punishment that must be incurred because he didn't do what you thought. Most of us don't think like that because, like, well, I'm not punishing him, but you are, because men tend to be way more sexual than women. And so when us not able to, we're just not doing what we're not doing. And now this brother is frustrated. So what is going to happen at this point? Well, he's either going to self-pleasure or he's going to seek pleasure somewhere else. So let me just tell you, I was on TikTok earlier looking for something. I was uploading something on my page. And when you open up the app, it just shows you a story. Well, there was a police chief down in Olapalooza, Louisiana. Olapalooza, I think is how you say it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not from Louisiana. But anyway, police chief and his wife were in the hospital, critical condition, because his side chick decided she didn't want to be the side chick no more. So she came over there and pew-pewed. She pew-pewed. Here's the reality of life. And let me just say this, and I'm not telling you how, but I'm telling you, you need to learn. When you rocking that world, there are no side chicks. You can be his girlfriend, his side chick. You can be his Friday girl, his Monday girl, his Thursday girl, his Tuesday girl. He just want to come home to you. Why? Because you rocking that world. That's all I'm telling you. Well, Shakema, it's not that important. Oh, but it is. And it's also important for you, because when you are relational, the body releases a hormone that just brings much joy, much release, much stress-freeness. There's no stress in these moments. It might only be two of them, but listen. Oh, Palooza. I couldn't get it right. Jesus. Yeah, there in Louisiana. But it brings, in those few moments, right? There are no more concerns. There are no concerns. And so God gave us that beautiful gift. But beyond this, marriage also shows our need to grow and deal with our own issues and self-centeredness through the help of a lifelong partner. Your partner is going to bring out the best and the worst in you. And you're going to have to learn to deal with you. Because they're going to say something, and that's going to bring out that old girl from when you was around the way. Okay, see, you live in a nice neighborhood now, but he don't know you from the hood. And as soon as he says something crazy, I'm about to jump up out of these stilettos and let him know, honey, I wasn't always cultured, okay? But that's what they're supposed to do. The Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron. You should be sharpening one another. He should be rubbing off your rough edges, and you should be rubbing off his rough edges. And that is how the relationship works. It says, if we were teachable, we would learn to do one thing. The most important in marriage is to love. And most of us, it is hard. The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And most of us don't love our neighbor because we don't love ourselves. We don't know how to love ourselves. Nobody loved us. And we don't know what the proper connotation of love is, because in some relationship, love means if you want to have these red bottoms, I got to give you my body. And in some relationships, it means that if I want to have this and I got to give you this. It has never just been selfless. It's in selfless act, because most people, when they give you something, they're like, what you want? Are you giving me this? Right? I tell you that is a true react. What you want? Or if you do something kind for somebody, what you trying to get from me? Because that's how that has been, right? But Jesus loved us so much that he gave his son, and he didn't ask anything back in return. Those of us who claim to be blood-bought, tongue-talking, shouting believers, whatever you is, those of us who claim that, why can't we accept the free gift? God gave it to us. He didn't expect anything back. So when he gave us a free gift, why can't we give it away without expectation? Because we were taught to expect something. Okay. This book is about love. It's about learning and daring to live a life filled with loving relationships. And this journey begins with the person who is closest to you, your spouse. Now, again, if you're not doing the spouse, excuse me, you can do the children, parents to children, because there's one for them. But be sure of this. It will take courage. If you accept this dare, you must take the view that instead of following your heart, you choose to lead your heart. The Bible says that your heart is wicked, wicked, wicked. There are some things I have thought about doing to people that have done stuff to me. Here, I have thought it. But because I love God, and because he loves me, and because he has taken my stony heart and given me a heart of flesh, I don't want to have that revenge. I don't want to do things. And I'm like, okay, God, my heart is telling me one thing, but I'm going to do something different. The world says to follow your heart, but if you are not leading it, then someone or something is. The Bible says the heart is more deceitful than all else in Jeremiah 17:9, and it always pursues which feels right at the moment. It's at the moment. We dare you to think differently, choosing instead to lead your heart towards that which is best in the long run. This is the key to lasting, fulfilling relationships. Listen to me. Let me say this, because I feel like sometimes these words keep us stuck. If you are in a situation where there is harm happening, seek help. If you are in a situation where you are not safe, seek help. If you are in a situation where your person is being threatened, seek help. This is not a all-inclusive, you married this man, you got to stay with this man no matter what he putting you through. Oh, no, 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 no. Seek help. So I want to put that out there. That's my one caveat there. The truth is, love is a decision, and a decision that's a conclusion or a resolution reached after consideration, and not just a feeling. I don't always feel like I love people, but I love them. I decide I'm choosing to love you today. Some of you just have to go to your spouse and say, I choose to love you today. And they're going to think you are nuts. They're like, what is wrong? Are you sick? What's the problem? You been to the doctor? They're going to ask everybody, do you know something wrong with your mama? What's wrong with it? Just, I'm choosing to love you today. Send a text message. Today, I'm choosing to love you. They're going to think you have lost your good mind. It is selfless, it's sacrificial, and it's transformative. Okay, I'm not going to finish reading any more of that. 1 Corinthians 13:13. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. That is from the second page in the book. And then we go into day 1. So tomorrow, January the 6th, is day number 1 of the 40 days of love. Day 1, love is patient. Be completely humble. That means having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. In today's society, for me to esteem somebody else higher than myself is not the norm. I'm taking my selfies. I'm on my social media. I am doing what I want to do and all of that. And it's saying having or showing a modest or low estimation of you and esteeming somebody else higher. But be completely humble and gentle. That's having or showing a mild, kind, or tender temperance or character. Some of us do not know how to be gentle because we have confused gentleness with being a pushover. I have prayed for years and years and years for the Lord to give me a gentle spirit. And God has been very faithful and he has gifted me with a gentle spirit. But that does not mean you about to roll up over here on me like you crazy, because I am from Brooklyn. And I'm not playing with none of y'all. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we read it and it's like, oh God, now I got to just let him run all over me. No, that's not what that means. It means you're having or showing a mild, kind, or tender temperament or character. Because if I got to roll in, I'm rolling in. Remember, 2 are better than 1. If he fighting, I'm fighting. You're not coming against my husband. You're not coming against my home. I'm going to always stand side by side with him or back to back so that we can protect what we got here. Does he need me? Probably not. But if push come to shove and he like, hey, babe, jump in. I got this. I got this. But I don't always have to come in fight mode when I'm with him. That doesn't have to be my testimony. I can be chillaxed. I can be gentle. I can be kind. That can be my permanent character, even if I have to take off my earrings. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. That's Ephesians 4:22. Love works. It is the most powerful motivator and has far greater depths of meaning than most people realize. According to 1 Corinthians, remember 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8, that's the love chapter. Y'all should know that one. Well, I don't want to say y'all should know that because everybody don't know that. But 1 Corinthians, come on, Corinthians. Okay. Chapter 13, verse 4, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Love is not rude. Go back to 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. If you just need to understand what love is, it is patient and it is kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable and it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices when the truth wins out. Love never gives up. It never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. That's just 4 through 7. All the things. Do you have all of those? Go through the list. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. What are you missing on this list? God, show me what I'm missing on this list. Some of us can't be truthful with us to say we're missing any of this because all of us think we're perfect, myself included. But I have learned, Lord, can you show me what I'm missing on here? There were multiple times, multiple years, in fact, where I was irritable. When you are down in your money, when your money is low, you're irritable. In my marriage, we didn't have nothing. He irritable, I'm ill. He ill, I'm ill. Or rude. One of the things that bothers me more than anything else in life is to see a wife, only because I'm a woman, to see a wife talk down to her husband in public. Ma'am, I'm looking at you all types of sideways because there's women out here like me, good women, good godly women who are praying for a man, and you got one and you talking to him all out the side of your face like you real crazy in front of people. Now that does not mean that when we get behind closed doors we might not have some heated fellowship, because we might, but I am not, and you not in my presence, ma'am, are going to be out here talking to your husband crazy, because what you are doing is I have now broken him down so far. Nope. How far else can he go low? Everybody done seen you put him in his place. They already know who wears the pants at your house. Well, Shakema, I don't believe in traditional gender roles. You don't have to believe in traditional gender roles to be kind. None of us do. All right. Okay, let me see. It says our hearts desperately need love like our lungs need oxygen. We need to be loved. It's one of the core values of people, not just a husband, but people. We need to be loved. We need to be safe and secure. Those are core values. I need to know that somebody loves me. Here's the thing. A woman will stay with anybody, even if he treats her bad, but she feels like he loves her. Oh, he loved me. Yeah, but he beat you every day. If that's love, don't love me at all. But some people, that's what they know. That's what they have been raised on. That's how they communicate. But it is what it is. Okay. Love changes your motivation for living. I live every day for my kids to try to make their lives better because they're who I have. They're who are here with me every day. But I love my husband and I don't even know who he is yet. How can you love a man you haven't met, Shakema? Because God loved me. And that same love that's in him is now alive in me. And so I have it to give away freely. Now, that doesn't mean I'm in love with him. I haven't met him yet, but I love him and I have for years. I've loved my husband for years. And I'm going to have to. Because how can I be single this long and he probably being single just as long or whatever the case is? And we're now two single people trying to come together and combine into one life. I'm used to the way my stuff is. You're used to the way your stuff is. And now we're trying to be together. Oh my God, what are we doing over here? But it is what it is. Okay. Okay. Love will inspire you to become a patient person. Inspire is a verb that again is doing something. It is to fill someone with the urge or the ability to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. It's going to inspire you. You're gonna be like, whoop, I just love this man. Don't you want to do that every day? I love this man. Shakema, we are done. We are past that. The 7-year itch is gone. We don't feel any of that. You can feel you can feel in love every single day. I believe that. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be out here doing this stuff. Because I've asked God, I've prayed. Honestly, this is my prayer. God, can I just be on my honeymoon forever? Can my husband and I just love each other? Can we just love each other for real? Like, can we just not be able to keep our hands off each other? I pray those types of prayers, y'all. Okay. All right. Two pillars here. Patience and kindness. Those are the two pillars that are going to help you for day number 1. It says, when you choose to be patient, you will respond in a positive way to a negative situation. When I choose patience, even though he on my nerve, I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to respond positively. I understand, babe, that we don't have enough money this week for that purchase. I'll put it on the list for next week. What you mean we ain't got enough money? What you been spending the money on? Who you been spending the money on? You been out there with another woman spending the money? Y'all, we can do that neck thing. Listen, that might be my 20 minutes of exercise tonight. Let me see if I can get that 20 minutes working your neck. But very good. We don't have it for this week. No problem. I'll just put it on the list for next week. That right there has stopped the whole conversation. That man was ready for World War III with you when he came to tell you that bad news. Now, that does not mean you never confront situations, because sometimes you do have to be confrontational. But confrontational doesn't mean you're trying to take each other out. It just means that we have a situation that we need to both face head on. And I need you to communicate to me how we're going to do this, or I'm going to give you a thought process on how we're going to do this. But most people think confrontation means I got to take you out. I'm not your opponent. I'm your teammate. We're on the same team. You don't have to steal the ball from me. We're going the same way. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You're welcome. I love it. Okay. Patience brings internal calm to an external storm. Patience helped Jesus be able to sleep in the boat. You got to be able to sleep through your storms. I'm not moved by that. I understand that is what the report is. I'm just not moved. Okay, what are we going to do? And when you have open lines of communication, you can get things done. But when you don't have open lines of communication because you have come at every situation as it is World War III, you're not going to ever be able to get anything done. So I'd much rather to be productive, right? Because if I go back to the other page, it said that marriage is to help us be effective. I want to be effective working together with each other. So I'm not going to come at you like I'm your opponent instead of your teammate. And I'm going to learn how to sleep in the middle of this storm. I get it. I understand that we are up against the wall, but here's what we're going to do. Okay. No one likes to be around an impatient person. It causes you to overreact in anger, foolish, and regrettable ways. It causes you to overreact in angry, foolish, and regrettable ways. The one thing that I don't want to do is lose my temper so much to the point that I have to come back and apologize for what I did or what I said. And words do hurt. Sticks and stone may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Words hurt. Some words hurt to infinity and beyond. And I don't want to have to go back and apologize. I just don't. I will, but I don't want to. So I'm always conscious of what I'm saying. I had to send somebody a text message today. My feelings were hurt about something. They were really hurt. And I typed up the text message and I sent it. I haven't heard a response, but I always have to say, Lord, help me to understand if this is what I should be sending or not. And I did not get a check in my spirit not to send it. I sent it. And I did say at the end, pray for me. If you think about it, pray for me because I am a little bit hurt right now. And so I want to be able to approach my spouse like that. Hey, I get it. I understand. This is where we are, but I'm not going to come at him. I'm not going to make a bad situation worse with my attitude. And we can do that if we don't handle our spouses correctly or situations correctly. And that's why I pray very often, God, give me a calm and gentle spirit. Give me a calm and gentle spirit because I don't want to be reactionary. I don't want my life to be reactionary. And if your spouse is a reactor, then you have to calm the reactor. Remember, if you have a nuclear reactor, anything can make that thing blow at any time. So they have to keep it cool so it doesn't get overheated and it'll react, or they got to put it in a special, container so it doesn't react. So I'm going to be the coolant. I want to be calm, cool, and collected. When he feeling a type of way, okay, God, help me to figure out how to bring calm to this situation. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on. Proverbs 14:29 says, he who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick tempered exacts folly. You have got to be resolved to be calm. You have got to be resolved to show wisdom. It says it is a choice to control your emotions rather than allowing your emotions to control you. Who's in charge? My sister, one of my other sisters, she got a dog when we got Greenie at the same. She got Cash when we got Gween at the same time. And Shamika got ZZ. So Shamika got ZZ. He's a chunky monkey. I got Gween. She's all Chihuahua with the ears. And then my sister got Cash, and he's just a little round ball of dump. He's a dumpling. And she's never had a dog before. And if she's watching, I'm telling the story about Cash. And sometimes Cash can be a little unruly. And she'll say, well, Shakema, he doesn't want to do this. And I have to tell her, he's not in charge. You're in charge. Cash is this big. You're this big. You're the parent. He's this big. He doesn't control anything in the house. So I can't let the little dog who doesn't understand how the world works control my life. I have to control the little dog and introduce him to how my world works. That's the same with your emotions. Your emotions cannot control you because as women, some of us are going through the change. Some of us been changed. Some of us ain't changing. Some of us, we on our 7-day cycle. Some of us on our cycle for 2 weeks. Some of us ain't cycled in 3 months. Some of our hormones is up and down. Some of us have had parts taken out. We on medication. Some of us are out of medication. We just all over the place. Do you not understand that we just cannot do anything when we like that? So then that's where prayer comes in. God, help me to control my emotions. Also, if you need medication for those emotions, get your medication, please. I got 8 minutes and I'm gone. Okay. Proverbs 15:18 says, a hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms a dispute. Patience is where love meets wisdom. Patience meets love and wisdom meet each other. Patience helps you give your spouse permission to be human. He might be Superman. He might be, but today he didn't leap a tall building in a single bound. Today he didn't make the extra overtime that y'all needed to get caught up on the car payment. Today, he got hurt at work and got sent home early. He just is a human. Today, he made a wrong decision. Today, he just said something he shouldn't have said. Today, he just lost it. Let him be human. Love allows them to be human. Okay. 1 Thessalonians 5:15, see that no one repays another with evil for evil, but always seek after that which is good for one another. He did me wrong, I'm going to do him wrong. Tit for tat. I'm going to get him, he going to get me. No. Few of us do patience very well, and none of us do it naturally, but wise men and women will pursue. That means to follow someone or something in order to catch it or attack it. I'm going to pursue patience. I'm going to catch it if it's the last thing I do. It's an essential ingredient for your marriage relationship. Okay, here's your dare for day number 1. Day number 1 is tomorrow, January the 6th. The first part of this dare is fairly simple. Although love is communicated in a number of ways, our words often reflect the condition of our heart. The Bible says, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If I feel it here, more than likely it's coming out here. For the next day, 24 hours, resolve to demonstrate patience and say nothing negative to your spouse. Nothing negative at all. It says, if the temptation arises, choose not to say anything. It's better to hold your tongue than to say something you'll regret. And I'm just reading this from the book. So your dare is here, and then you have some lines. It says, did anything happen today to cause anger towards your mate? Were you tempted to think disapproving thoughts and let them come out in words? And then you want to journal however you feeling there. So tomorrow, day 1's dare is to not say anything negative to your spouse. Nothing at all. Even to the point, if you feel like it is coming out, do what I call an excuse me. You're welcome to say, because you know it's right there on the tip of your tongue, and y'all are having a conversation. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Go to the bathroom and get yourself together. And then come back when you're ready to continue. And if it happens again, excuse me, gotta go to the stomach. Gotta go to the bathroom. Gotta go. And excuse yourself, because the enemy is going to bring up all the things so that you can pop off at the mouth. That is what I'm good at. I know my strengths. But as the years have progressed and as I've walked with the Lord, I have learned to be quiet. I have a lady in Titus 2. Her name is Miss Celeste. She said, study to be quiet. Some of us need to study to be quiet. Alrighty, y'all. 52 minutes and 49 seconds, and we are done. Day number 1 starts tomorrow. Please, please, please pray over this. You may not be in for this first dare, right? This may not be your jam. This may be way too much. And the facial expression. See, that be the thing. Miss Carla said the words aren't the problem. It's the body language. And for some of us, it's the facial expressions, because one word and you be like, see how. So then we're praying, Lord, help my body language. And then you may again have to excuse yourself or turn around so that they don't get to see that, right? I'm going to honor my spouse and not let them see my body language, my facial expression, and especially the words that come out of my mouth. Because whether you speak it or say it, you've spoken it. You said it loud and clear. They got the message. Whether you said it out loud or they saw it on your face, they got the message loud and clear. Displeased, anger, regret, disappointment. And to a man, to have his woman disappointed in him, that is something that's damaging, because he wants to be the superhero in your life. He wants to be that Superman. Remember what Shakema told y'all. It is up to us to put that S on his chest. But if we go up to him and snatch it off, right? So all of us have work to do. This is not me telling you how to do it. This is me practicing as well. Tomorrow's no negative words for me either. And I'll tell you something about me, because y'all think I'm perfect. Not. I try to be as best as I can. But last week I had some situations just going on through my mind, and it was just bothering me. And I was like, just grumbling and complaining. And the Holy Spirit said to me, to Shakema, El Sado Personal, he said, you're like the children of Israel. I said, oh Lord, oh Jesus. Just complain about everything. Complain. He said to me, who love the Lord my God with all my heart and all my mind, you're just like the children of Israel. I said, oh my God. So I'm not telling you, I'm telling me, this is for me too. I don't have a man, but I have kids, and I don't need to say anything negative to them. I try my hardest. We do very well, but sometimes things, they don't do what I ask, and then I have to come down a little hard. But tomorrow's my day. No negative words. All righty, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope that you're in it to win it. I'll see some of you back here tomorrow, maybe not. And if you're catching the replay, this is for January the 6th. Today is your prep for tomorrow. I love you guys. Do the very best you can. Stay prayerful. Stay prayerful. You can do this. I know you can. I'll see you guys. Right? It's not always about the man, because these are things we can do with our children. So yes, ma'am. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.